Hello, good evening, and welcome to a special edition of Ben Shatliff on Sunday. As today, we pay tribute to my father, Frank Shatliff, who tomorrow celebrates his 80th birthday. And on the programme now, we've got some nice background family photos, which, as you can just see there, going from the whole different eras over the last 50 or so years. Welcome and happy birthday to you, Dad, for tomorrow.
Thank you, Ben.
How does it feel touching that milestone of 80?
Pretty much the same as it did when I was 21, but obviously just that bit older.
Well, it's quite some time ago as well.
A very long time ago.
And now when you look around here and you see all these various different photos, which has got the various different family members, some who are still with us and some who are no longer with us.
Right.
And
But you've got a good selection of photographs there, haven't you, Ben? Because you've got right from 50 odd years ago, right through to present day. So it's nice selection, nice family photographs, obviously, the boys, and one on top there taken at the Grove House Hotel, probably about over 50 years ago now.
I actually see a date on there. All as it says is 479. It's obviously not that long ago. And of course, his grandma and the granddad are on there as well. And
Yeah, some good family photos.
Yeah. And the way I put out that one there, you've got yourself with Josh and Zach, and then yourself with Tim and I as well.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what it's all about, generations and
Exactly.
family photographs, so, memories. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and a ship that's not anchoring keeps moving.
Well, that's, as long as people keep moving, you don't need a chance.
Exactly. And what would you say have been, when you think about it, there's been a whole variety of different things that have happened over the last almost 80 years, and you'll say family has been a highlight, but what other kind of highlights have you enjoyed over the last 80 years? Maybe not necessarily recent stuff, but kind of other stuff that you've done.
Well, basically, getting involved in jobs, what I used to do. Been in road transport all my working life. I've drove most things, apart from heavy, really heavy vehicles, but mostly last 50 odd years have been on tankers. So I delivered quite a bit of fuel in the tank up and down the country.
How many miles do you think you've actually done in total if you were to calculate it all together?
I'd need a good calculator for that one quite honestly. Yeah, it's been good. It's like everything else. It's had its ups and downs, like most people who's in my job. Met some fantastic people on my travels. Still in contact with quite a few. So all in all, it's been okay.
That's good. And of course, I know over recent years you've been on here talking about various different events. You've done charities and various different stuff like that. But you've done various other stuff. You were involved in the PTA when I was at school quite some time ago, and you were involved in the Scouts and things like that. Really, at one time when you were the
that's right. I think it's important really if you can actually give some time to what you would call society, where you live. You can help in any way, do it. Not apply to anyone that's watching this.
Yeah.
There's always somebody out there who needs a little help. You can afford a little bit of time, do it. And
you needed some football management as well, didn't you?
Well, I'm about as successful at doing that as the. No, it was a little challenge.
You can't be any worse than these student Man United managers.
Well, I'm not. No. There's always something to do if you want to do it. Football, better than my paper, was chair of the Express Scout group back in the day. It was on the PTA at Parenton, and we used to spend these for a PTA, don't know what it's got now. But one of the best things we did at Parenton was building floats for Breakfast Carnival. And we did some good floats and won quite a few prizes, but you don't see that today for some reason. I don't know what it is. I just honestly do not know what it is.
Mm.
You know, these people can get involved with events that take place, but they don't do it.
No, no.
Yeah, as I say, I don't know what it is.
Well, we go back to February 5th, 1944. You were born during one of the dark times of the modern era, and now 80 years on, it's kind of like it's still a very dark time in the modern era, even though there's been light in between.
Well, yeah, there's been big lights in between, but the thing is, the back 80 years, it's 1944, and it was on, you know, Second World War was taking place. And where we lived in Cheetham, there's only about a 15-minute walk from one of the main railway stations in Manchester, which, you know, with Victoria, which, you know, the Luftwaffe was aiming to get. You know, luckily they didn't, they got part of it. But you can imagine, that's not far from where we lived.
No,
We'd have bombed our houses all around us. Luckily, our little terrace row survived it, but lots of other people didn't. Luckily enough, we lived right opposite a decent area shot, so where, you know, all the parents and everybody pushed over when the sirens went. It was a bad time, it was simply that way. And people were struggling to make ends meet. You know, lots of people turned to charities. There was charities that help families. You know, the basic needs in those days, you know, it was difficult to get. There was rationing, you had to queue up, you know, long queues. People think there's long queues now, they should have, back in those days, it was far, you know, a lot longer, and it was limited what you could get. But as I say, lots of people turned to charity, and one of the charities where I helped, Wall Street Mission, was one of the charities that was really, really helpful to people back in that day.
Would you say, even though times are very, very tough and maybe more poverty than what there is now for people?
Well, I can't really answer that because
No,
I mean,
no, sorry, I've not finished the question.
okay.
People would disagree with what I'm saying now. I'm saying what I'm saying, but what I was going to say is there's more poverty than what there is now, and I'll say there's more poverty because there wasn't all the mod cons that people have now, like everybody having electricity and everything else. But what I'm going to say though is, despite all that, people still have respect for each other, don't they?
Well, people help each other, but having said that, they still do today. You know, I mean, you can tell that with some of the charities survived them. You know, people are only too keen to help. But back in the day, because there was limited amounts of stuff available, people possibly had more. You know, with children and stuff like that.
Exactly. People used to say Mr. and Mrs. a lot more rather than now everybody calls each other by the first name and
well, I mean, you know, that to me is the relevant thing. You know, the most important thing is respect to people. You know, and you and me have met quite a few people over the years with no respect for anybody, only themselves. But that aside, it all depends how you brought up, I suppose, really. But back then, I mean, obviously, I'm a baby now, but we grew up with it. I was youngest at 5.
So you used to go to, or you were supposed to go to church on a Sunday to St. Anne's as well.
Well, we did do it back in the day, yeah. So, you know, everybody sort of grew up with some sort of religion. It's such a cross section of religion, there was never any animosity with anybody.
No.
You know, we lived in Terrace Row with Protestant, Jewish people, Catholic, a lot. There's never, I cannot remember any animosity with anyone. Right? If anything, it helps each other. And that's
Because you sometimes used to go into the house on a Friday and you
right.
turn to switch the lights on.
Well, we used to light the fire, right? And then the next morning we'd go knock at the door and one of our Jewish neighbours would probably bring something, even if it was a bowl of soup. But nevertheless, it was there.
A sign of appreciation.
That's right. So our community was really cross-section of different religions and all that, different and nationalities.
Mm.
Uh,
Because there were people from Italy as well as other European countries, Poland and Ukraine, of course, which is literally just a stone's throw from where you are, where the Ukrainian community is.
Well, there was, I mean, when at school there was different nationalities. There was Polish, there was Italian, obviously Ukraine, and all those groups.
And the Iranian as well.
Absolutely, and they all so on Whit Friday, which was after which we walked, all those groups marched together into Albert Square. So yeah, I mean the Italians were high profile and doing stuff like that. Because they had their own parade as well. They still do it today.
They do still do it today.
So yeah, it was a good thing really, a learning curve, because you met different nationalities and everything at school and outside.
Yeah.
And when I was a youngster, there used to be a mascot for the Mile House football team, which is across the road from where we used to live. And I used to go to every game with them. And some of the players they had was Italian. Absolutely fantastic players. And they would have made a fortune in this day and age. Because it was probably far better than some of the movies we're watching today. So Italians and probably on Ukraine players. It was great. It was good.
You remember, of course, as well, when was it late 50s or early 60s, when there was that train crash not far from where you live, and it came off the bridge near Queen's Road.
That's right. It crashed through the bridge to the River Oak. And I just forget fatalities and that. But it created a lot of, upset.
You say though there was one person that was in the river that managed to get out, that was kind of initially they didn't realise was there or something like that.
I think so, but I can't remember. I remember it, so it was just there, but I can't recollect everything that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no these coaches hanging off the bridge. But every time I use the metro link now, going out of it, or coming in, they always have a look over. And you can still see, obviously, the river's still there. Yeah. That was that. But it's interesting time.
And of course, we also remember the Munich air disaster as well.
Well, I was 14 at the time, and I was working at a butcher's in a school. I used to have a job when I finished after school, and in the butcher's, Jack Thorpe's, and I was in the back making sausages. We used to be an expert sausage maker, and the news came out. One of our regular customers came in with a newspaper in his hand and shouted, "Look at this!" And it was the headlines about Munich. And people were coming in, and he was actually really upset, and some of them tears, which is easily done, really, when you look at what happened. And it was a major disaster for Manchester and world football.
Yeah, of course it is.
And it's actually it's due on the 8th of this month. Yeah, it was just after my birthday.
Is it not the 6th?
I think, 6.
But then maybe other people passed away. Did pass away on that day as well. But I mean, there's loads of them. But I mean, like people like Duncan Edwards, who would have been fantastic, and possibly tipped to win the European Cup that year.
Well, no doubt about that, Quan. I said, but when you look at those players that passed away or got killed, it's what you want to call it. At today's level, they were the real world-class players. Anyway, that's the way it is. So, all in all, it's been okay.
There's been other more like happier occasions, like when Pope John Paul II visited Eaton Park back in 1982.
Yeah.
Even I remember that when to Scold's Lane and saw him coming off.
We went to Nazareth House, where he was staying, and as he come out with the Pope video, we was here, and we were heading to Eaton Park, and he gave us a smile on the way around. So yeah, it was nice. That.
Well, do you mean we were on Scold's Lane then, we didn't like to go to Nazareth House itself?
So Nazareth House was there,
and Skulls
and as he come out with the vehicle, we were here.
right.
Right?
Then I just remember him getting off the plane, the red carpet, and then later on that day, after he finished it, he said, "Oh, I actually go on the plane myself,"
Yeah.
which is which is very very interesting because of course loads of people were all camping out and stuff on the nights and stuff before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had some decent jobs with decent oil companies.
Mm.
One of the best ones was Canoco. No question about that. And it was a good company to work for.
That's where that photo there comes from, isn't it, with your mum?
Yeah, that was
Taken
taken.
the hotel.
That was taken at Grosvenor House Hotel. It was like an occasion for safety, and we were awarded quite a few certificates and stuff like that.
Mm.
But it was good now. We used to do driving competitions. I still got trophies next door.
Mm.
And that was good, yeah.
What's the last one that you did for that when we went to Silverstone, or did you do another one?
No, that was the last one I did, that Silverstone.
Mm.
That was a novelty driving around the racing track in the tanker, I must admit.
Mm.
But yeah, that was the last one I did now.
No, I remember when we weren't there, but I remember when we used to go to Smithfield markets and we used to do the local and stuff. Then we used to go away to different places, maybe such like Bournemouth and Cardiff and places for
That's right.
the weekends. If Tim and I were a few years older, we would have been able to enjoy it more, wouldn't we? Some of the other
Well, I always enjoyed it anyway.
we did,
No,
even though we're only a few months old or a few years old.
yeah.
It's,
No, all in all, it's been a good, transport's been a good living.
mm,
You don't become a millionaire, but nevertheless, you saw doing a good living. And then when I retired, I got involved with doing stuff for live.
mm.
So, yeah,
You've mentioned transport there that you've driven, and of course you're always one that says like the number of cars on the road now compared to what it was quite a few years ago when you were learning to drive. What about public transport now? Because you've seen buses, trains, now trams, buses, trains. What was it like compared to as you were growing up? I mean, okay, maybe you can get to more places, or could you possibly get to more places when you were growing up than what you can do now?
well, you can't compare what it was like in those days to what it is now because the volume of people living in the country was lower then than it is now, obviously. But I don't think successive government has taken that on board part of this because we're in the situation we're in now. The bus system in Greater Manchester, to my way of thinking, is absolute rubbish. Right? It's as simple as that. It was far more efficient back in the old days when it was Manchester Corporation, right? And Salford City and all that. I think it was more efficient in those days. Now, it's hard to explain really. Some of the drivers don't even know where the route is, right? You get lost on routes. I'm not going to go down that road. It seems to me that you've got people making decisions about road transport, public transport. In other words, people's movement. I'm sorry, but they've not got a clue. What they should do, right, is go to Queen's Road bus depot, go into the museum at the back, right, where there's groups of volunteers, and with more information, experience about public transport than there'll ever be in some political place wherever they do this. Yeah. They will tell you exactly how it should be run. And what they'd probably be right. It could not be any worse than what it is now. And then you've got these yellow buses. Whoever chose that colour in Greater Manchester, I'm not being funny, you've not got a bleeding clue. That's it.
The B network.
Anyway, and that's like I don't know because it winds me up because there's some people out there who don't fit the purpose.
I entirely agree. And the thing is, though, I mean, I was asking then about the buses because in terms of public transport, think we're probably going to say, even though COVID, I know there's more number of people, it was better for you as you were growing up than what it actually is
On
now.
public transport.
Yeah.
No, I thought so, yeah, because I mean, all the buses were clean, you had a conductor, where there was less people on the buses in those days because the buses were smaller, obviously.
Yeah.
Now there's probably 1.5 times the volume of people on the buses today, all left their own devices.
Yeah.
Right, so you've got feet all over the seats.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They come with a monkey.
Yeah, exactly. Because again that goes back to respect, which is what I was saying about earlier on.
Yeah.
Even though times might be very hard for people, which they are hard, no one's disputing that. And there's a lot of homeless people, but there's a lot of homeless people around when you were growing up.
When we were growing up, we lived out to a brickwork. Right? From brick manufacturing, the actual bricks have to go into what you call a kiln to be baked. They go in clay and come out of the brick. When they was empty, those places were hot. They cooled down a bit and they went nice and warm. When they were nice and warm, there used to be people, homeless people, going to the kiln because it was warm and somewhere to go. But that was back in those days, right? And we used, different people round about used to make a sandwich and everything. But that was then.
But yeah, and of course you've seen 3 different monarchs in both during your time. 2 kings, 1 queen.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying.
Yeah, but I mean,
you remember when it was announced about King George VI passing?
Yeah, I was only young at the time, and quite honestly, a lot of things, you want to do what you want to do. You're more interested than other stuff. And obviously, back in the day, there was no social media like this.
Yeah.
There was nothing at all, basically. You was lucky, extremely lucky if you had a television. It was a long time before we had it. Everything was on the radio or the newspaper. In those days, there was newspapers all in Manchester with different printing companies. A good friend of ours worked at the Daily Express. There was loads of printing going on around here. And everybody bought the papers. And that is how you found out what was going on. And the radio.
And of course, sometimes when people used to go to the cinema, you see that.
That's right, Pat News, yeah. It's a totally different ballgame for now. It makes you wonder whether what's going on today in terms of social media is actually beneficial. There's lots of things going on, really nasty good things, but people look up.
Exactly. There's new rules being called in now in relation to that. But no, just to sum up though, you can see all behind you there, all the happiness and happy birthday for tomorrow, Dan.
Well, thanks very much for that, Ben.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was a nice party yesterday, and it'll be a nice one tomorrow as well. So I really appreciate that. The most important thing is having a good family behind it, and we're lucky to have that.
And thank you for supporting on here. Right, well that is it. Next week, Ben Shatliff on Sunday will return as normal, with the news stories of what's happening in our world. But in the meantime, happy birthday to Dad. Everybody take care. Goodbye for now.